You gotta keep on breathing if you wanna make sense of it all. We will not fall.
So we're going to start lying down on our backs in butterfly today. You can, of course, use blocks as you need through the practice, supporting knees, but just take the feet a little bit further away from the buttocks. So that diamond shape is quite loose. It's not tight, it's not restricted. Allow the hip flexors to soften, which in turn allows the back to gently pull away from the floor in a natural arch. And the hands can be wherever they feel most comfortable, either resting down on the hip flexors, maybe on the belly, maybe out to the side, or you might like to just take them up into cactus or above the head, which again, in turn, opens up the chest and creates a little bit more of a back bend. So try and settle in. Maybe the eyes are closed, maybe a soft gaze up towards the sky. And as you lie here, feel the connection of the toes and the soles of the feet to one another, but also the connection of the back body to the earth. Feeling held, feeling supported with the ground underneath you. Spreading out your weight, spreading out the physical body. And just allowing your breath to initiate from the sacral region, from the base of the spine, right down at the tailbone, where the spine connects in towards the pelvis and the sacrum. And that breath travels up to the base of the skull, all the way to C1, the cervical vertebra. And then as you exhale, that spinal breath relaxes, releases, lets go all the way back down to the base of the spine. So just bringing your attention into this present moment, using the breath as your anchor, breathing in to the base of the skull, breathing out to the base of the spine. And as you continue with that flow of breath, that steady, continuous, rhythmic breath, easy, effortless, and comfortable, just draw into our theme, our intention of practice for the water element. And we've followed on from our earth element last week, but earth and water so together, watering plants, the water comes from the earth. We cannot survive without either of them, and we are made up of both. We are, our constitution is made up of earth and water. We're 70% water, so we have a strong affinity to that particular element, but also without water we would not survive. And just as water is constantly moving, maybe furious and fierce, maybe calm and meandering, it's always moving, it's always finding the path of least resistance. And think of that through your practice today, the path of least resistance. Continually moving. And even though we're here, we're finding stillness in this butterfly pose, our internal is still moving. Our breath is still moving. So think fluid, flow, sensuality, creative expression. And just let go of that spinal breath, breathing normally. Bring movement back into the hands, wiggling into the fingers, moving into all of the knuckles, moving into the wrists, rotating wrists, and then lifting the arms up above the head, giving yourself a big stretch, reaching the fingertips back behind you, lengthening the sides of the body. And as you scoop the arms around to the sides of the body, they gather up the legs and they lift the legs. So try not to take the effort into the hip flexors to do that. Take the feet wide, pigeon-toed, and gently drop the knees in towards one another. Try and relax the toes, the feet, the shins, the calves. Soften out through the knees, the thighs, the hamstrings, the back of the body, and relax into the pelvic floor and the glutes. Feel the spine connecting down to the bowl of the pelvis where the sacrum meets the pelvis here, flattening out underneath you. And feel the spine nice and long all the way from the base of the neck to the base of the spine. Slowly and with intention, heel toe in together. So heels move in towards one another, knees open. Toes pull in towards one another, knees close. Heels come into parallel, and you just make sure that the feet are in line with the hips, in line with the knees, and the toes are facing forward. Spread the shoulders, spread the back, bring the hands down by the side of the body, reaching towards the end of your mat, and then start to introduce slow and controlled pelvic tilts. And these can be as subtle and as small and as big as you like. So think about where the breath initiates here, and the exhale is as you lift the pubic bone and round through the tailbone and the lower lumbar. And the inhale is as you gently pull the tailbone back underneath you, gently arching through the spine. So same type of breathing as if you were doing back bends or forward folds. And also a seated cat and cow or a kneeling cat and cow. So really taking the awareness into the hips, the hip flexors, the quads, the thighs, the buttocks, the glutes, the lower back, the pelvis, the hips, and the sacrum here. Just that area of the torso. And then on your next one, push down through the feet, push down through the hands, drive the knees forward and lift up into bridge. Let's stay and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly roll down through the shoulders, scooping out through the belly. Keep on lifting up through that pubic bone, rounding out through the lower back. Each and every vertebra comes down. We're already at the middle back, still lifting up the lower back. And then the lower lumbus comes down, the sacrum comes down, and the tailbone comes down. Stretch the legs long along the mat. Bring the toes together, point the toes, stretch into the feet, lift the arms up above the head, and take hold of the left wrist and just shuffle the shoulders over to the right side of your mat. So legs are long, all in one line from the hips, but you're just moving the upper body across the mat. Bring yourself back into the center. And then take hold of your right wrist and shuffle the shoulders over to the top left corner. Pulling that right hip gently down. Just got a nice little side stretch there. And then bring yourself back into the center. Gather those knees, bring them in towards the chest, lengthen spine, lengthen neck, relax the face, keep the tailbone gently pulling down to the floor. And this can be a nice subtle hug. It doesn't have to be too compressive, too restricting, too crushing. Let all that breath out as you squeeze. And then as you breathe in, the lungs fill, the belly rises, pushes up towards the thighs. And then fingertips come on top of the shins and you start to circle the knees around. So this gives the sacrum, the pelvis, the hips, the lower back, a nice little mobility exercise and a nice little massage. Circle the other way, keeping the knees together for the moment. Rolling from one hip to the other. And now we open the knees, start to get into the hip joints. So really starting to lubricate the movement there. Noticing clicks, crunches, what feels good. Circle the other way. And then just place the soles of the feet wide of your mat. Toes pointing forward, again spreading out the pelvis. Take the arms out to the side of you, either at shoulder height with the palms up or cactus once more. So again, you choose. And we'll drop the knees over to the right side. So just rolling over onto the outer and inner edges of the feet. And then breathe in, bring it back into center, realign the feet, realign the spine if you need to. Exhale, take it to the other side. Let that back knee just tail and trail and drop to the floor. Breathe into center. This time we introduce the head and the neck. Exhale, knees go right, head looks to left. Breathe in, bring it back into center. Exhale, knees go left, head goes right. Keep that movement going, nice and smooth. Head comes center as the knees come center. You breathe out. Each time you drop the head one way and the knees the other. One more time here. I like to do sets of 3. And then bring back into center and just roll over to one side. Take your time and let's find our tabletop position from here. So this tabletop is a little bit longer and a little bit wider than our usual tabletop with our hands underneath the shoulders and our knees underneath the hips. So take the hands a little bit wider of your mat, maybe the knees a little bit wider, maybe the feet come together. Into a wide leg child's pose. We inhale, we ripple up through cat, and then we drop the pubic bone, open the chest, and breathe in. So exhale, pull back. Round out through the spine, and come forward, dropping hips. Round and come back. And going forward. Last time, we come back into our wide leg child's pose. We stay there, exhaling, releasing head down to the floor, to the hands or to blocks. Take a moment to soften into the feet, the ankles, shins, knees, thighs. And take this moment as our third eye connects towards the earth to draw into an intention. One of finding continuous movement and flow, flow state in mind and body through the practice, really giving in, going with the flow, and finding the path of least resistance, just as water would. Breathe in, lift up into tabletop. So bring the knees parallel, use your blocks if you need to here. Right foot comes forward. You can keep those toes facing forward or you can turn them out. But we're going to kickstand the back knee, so turning the left foot in just a little bit. Hands might come on this inside of the space here. We're going to start to circle in through the hips here. So we might pull back towards the heel of the back leg. We might drive those hips forward to the front heel. Again, just move freely. Circling 3 times one way and then reversing that and 3 times the other. And then the last time, we're actually just going to pull back and just rest back onto that back calf, straightening through the front leg. And hopefully your leg might be parallel with the outer edge of your mat and the other knee might be just facing to the side. So we're just going to release down, maybe onto the hands, the elbows, and pull those toes back of that right extended leg. Maybe the fingertips reach forward and you melt the chest just a little bit. Might be feeling that somewhere in that inside right leg. Long spine, dropping shoulders nice and equally. And then bring yourself back up. Sweep the right leg back as you move the left back into parallel. And we open this up into a tiger pose. So we're heel in towards the buttock, opening out through the knee and the hip. If you like, you can stay here on the palms, or you might release the left hand to reach back and take hold of the foot. Lift the chest, press the foot into the hand, and come into that tiger pose from there. Driving down through right palm and left shin. And slowly release. Left leg comes forward. Again, that left foot might be winged. It might be facing forward. And you kickstand the back knee. So again, we start to do those nice little rotations. 3 on one side. Or 3 going one way. And 3 going the other. And then the last time, we gently pull ourselves back towards our back heel, extending that left leg along the mat. If it's particularly tight, bend into the knee here, but keep that flexion through the heel. Start to fold the body down into this L-shaped space. Maybe that's on the palms, the forearms, trying to get the chest nice and parallel to the floor. And then maybe the fingertips reach forward. Exhaling. Again, just notice where the target areas are for this one. Maybe feeling it in that extended left leg. You might be feeling it in the spine or the right leg. And hands come back. Bring yourself back into that tabletop position, realigning that back knee, sweeping left leg all the way back around. Find tiger pose first of all. Heel draws into the buttock and you're flexing into that foot. And then maybe the right hand releases back, catches the toes, and you press the foot into the hand. And we're driving down to the earth through that left palm and right shin. Nice. And then nice and slowly, we release, tuck those toes, and come back into a tucked toe child's pose. So toes are tucked underneath us, Release the fingers. And we're in a nice tight ball with our toes, knees, hips. Breathing deeply. From here, we move through our down dog, ripple plank, and then back through tabletop and down dog. So from here, the hands might come back just a little bit. We lift the knees, we keep the belly close to the thighs, we ripple up, we come high up on the toes, we shift the shoulders forward into our high plank, and then we pull the knees back down to the floor to go back through that tucked toe child's pose, to do that all again, lifting up, rippling and rounding. So we did this tabletop, just doing it in our down dog and plank. So 3 times. And the last time, we come back into our downward facing dog. Start to pedal out through the feet, getting into the toes, maybe rolling over the toes. And remember, we're not forgetting all the wonderful work we did in our feet and our legs from last week's earth element. And just checking in here as we start to stretch through the back of the Achilles, back of the calves, back of the knees, back of the legs. Bring the left toes into the center of the mat. Place the right foot across the left foot, bringing the little toes together. Start to release the left heel towards the floor. We're pressing the chest back towards the thighs. Legs across, squeezing those thighs together. Bring the right foot back, place that into the center, and then the left foot crosses over in front, little toes come together, and then start to release the right heel, pressing back. Still trying to square off the chest. And then release back into down dog, exhaling. We're going to walk forward with cross steps. So what does that mean? That means the right leg crosses over to the left side of the mat. The left leg crosses over to the right side of the mat, and you continue and you come all the way forward. And yes, the hands are going to have to move, or the steps become a little bit smaller as you come all the way, crossing over those legs. And bring yourself all the way to the front of the mat. Bring the feet parallel. Lift the toes, lift the heels, find the weight distribution nice and equally, and then exhale, fold. Lift the sit bones, shine the sacrum to the sky, take hold of the elbows if you wish to, let the head hang heavy, and just sway gently from side to side. If you need to, keep the head in line with the heart by having the hands on the blocks or the shins. Find stillness. Sweep the hands back to the sacrum. Place the palms on the sacrum. Lift the elbows, open the shoulders. Press the chest towards the thighs. Squeeze the elbows in towards one another, above the back. Nice. And then we trace the line all the way down from the buttocks, all the way down the hamstrings, down the knees, down the calves. And then we bring the hands forward to inhale into half lift, lengthening spine. Again, hands on blocks or the mat. From here, we lift the heart, we lift the arms, and we bring ourselves all the way up to stand. When we get there, we just find a neutral standing pose, and then we bring the hands together if it feels good, or shoulders shoulder width apart. Lift up and go into that passive back bend, reaching back. And then bring center and exhale. Let the arms just float down by the side. This is the time to pause. Hi. Hello. Wesley's come to see me, which is quite rare. So standing at the front of the mat, finding that mountain pose, Tadasana. And just notice all the wonderful work that you've done already that hopefully has mobilized the spine, mobilized the hips, the legs. We're going to move into a nice slow and steady flow. So for this flow, we're going to do this with our legs crossed. So we're going to bring our right leg across, trying to get both feet down onto the floor. So we're squeezing the thighs together. And what tends to happen sometimes is that you might sway back through the supporting leg. Try and keep a soft and micro bend in both of those knees so that you can squeeze the knees together. So right leg comes across. We plant those little toes together. Again, soft micro bend into the knees. Lift the arms up. We take hold of the left wrist. Lift up and over. We're going to push that left hip out to the side and keep lifting up through the right side of the body. Ground through all 10 toes. Lift up, bring center. Change the grip of the wrist. Lift up and go to the opposite side. From here, bring center, and we're going to step back with our right leg. So we open out to the side of our mat. I'm going to face you into goddess pose, or star pose, actually, moving into goddess. So we find our star pose. Our toes are turning out. Our fingers are spread to the sky. From here, hands drop down as we bend the knees. We gather from the earth, all that wonderful water, lift it up to the sky, and then just rain that water down on us. Twice more. Goddess squat, lift the arms up, move back into star. Once more. Once we move from our star pose, we've got our left leg in front, she says. So we move into triangle, that's right. So find our starting triangle position, grounding through the feet, drawing in through the inner thighs. Reach out and long, and then exhale, take it down into your triangle, wherever that arm rests or hand rests, either onto the ankle, the shin, or the calf. Think about lifting up through the torso, trying not to get the depth into the triangle, but rather opening up through the top rib cage. Keep moving and breathing through this pose, even though we're staying and holding. From here, we gently bring the top arm around. We bend into the front knee, hands come to the floor, and you might rearrange the feet to come into your forward-facing triangle or pyramid. So long spine here, drawing that back hip towards the front of the mat. From there, reach the fingers forward and exhale over your front leg. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, fold a little bit deeper. From here, we bend into the front knee. We turn and pivot on the back toes. We bring the hands either side of our foot into a low lunge. Good. So your back knee can come down if you like, or nice straight strong leg from crown to heel. From here, moving back through 3 movements. So from high pyramid, or from low lunge to high pyramid, and then dropping hips gently forward. And again, you can place those fingers on blocks if you're not quite meeting the mat. Pull the hips back. Keep the chest and belly close to that front thigh. Start to release that right heel down. Last time, we bring this back. And from here, we're actually going to plant the back foot once more, bend into the front knee, and we move into our warrior 2 position. So windmill the hands and come into warrior 2. Good. From here, we move into our half moon pose and Chapasana, standing balance, having a block handy to place the hands on should you need to. Nice. So what we do is we start to shift the weight forward into the supporting leg, taking the hand down, and give the hand a little press onto the back near the sacrum. Lifting up the leg. Opening the rib cage. And then maybe releasing the top hand. And that in turn reaches back to take hold of your foot in your Chapasana as you pull that heel in towards the buttock. And then maybe you push it away. Nice and slowly we bend through the front knee to release back into Warrior Two. Lovely. Windmill the hands, frame the front foot. That left leg now sweeps back all the way behind you into that kicking donkey, just as we did in that tiger pose. We're releasing the right heel to the floor, still in our down dog, but pulling that heel towards the buttock. And then nice and slowly we release that foot to the floor, find your down dog. One little ripple. We round up through our plank pose, knees come down, toes tucked, child's pose, and then lift up the hips into your down dog. Cross legs, come forward. Crossing the feet. All the way to the front of the mat. Feet become parallel, ground through the feet, lift the toes. Belly, chest comes down over the thighs. Take hold of the elbows, sway gently from side to side. Bring the hands to the sacrum, squeeze the elbows together. Lengthen the spine, lengthen the legs. We trace the back of our legs as the fingertips slide down the buttocks, down the hamstrings, down the knees, the calves. They come forward into a half lift. From there, use the core strength, use the back strength to press through the floor, arms out to the side, and lift you up into your upward facing salute. Bring back into center. And the hands come down by the side of the body. Good. I'm going to swap sides so that I can still see you when we do the goddess poses the other way. So this time our left leg crosses over our right. Toes come together. I'm going to squeeze those knees towards one another, squeeze the shins, lift up the arms. Take hold of the right wrist this time, lift up and side bend over, pushing that hip out towards the side. Nice straight, strong arms, pushing those hands away. Lift up, come center, take hold of the opposite wrist, lift up as you inhale, exhale, side bend over, side salute. Good, and bring yourself back into center. And then this time we step back with our left leg. Find our goddess pose. Well, find star pose. Good. So drop and gather. Bring it up. Nice. Drop and gather. Thinking about those knees tracking over the middle toes. Big, big circle. Exhale it down. Inhale up. This time we turn towards our front right leg. So finding that grounding standing position, preparing for our Trikonasana, reaching out long, and then exhale, coming down. Rolling open the rib cage, reaching fingers up towards the sky. And then the top arm folds forward as we bend into the front knee, realigning ourselves for our forward-facing pyramid or triangle. Forward-facing triangle. Lengthen the spine. Pull the left hip gently forward. Right hip goes back. Exhale, fold forward. Maybe the fingertips come forward of the foot. In this pyramid, we're grounding through our back foot, driving through that heel, strong back leg. The front leg might be slightly bent to alleviate any overstretch in the inner groin or the back of the hamstrings. Once more, lift up and lengthen the spine. As you inhale, exhale, fold. Bend through the front knee, pivot on the back toes, extend the back leg, and drop the hips to the floor. So hands are either side of our foot. Start to move the hips back, keeping the body close to the thigh, releasing that left heel towards the floor. Inhale, drop hips, lift chest, relax shoulders. Twice more, bring it back, high pyramid, pulling the body towards the front leg, releasing that back heel. Dropping down. And come back into high pyramid. And then from there, bending into the front knee, planting the back foot, windmill the hands back around and come up into your warrior two position. Good. From here, we move into that balance. So grabbing that block, should you need it, lifting up the back leg only when you have the stability through the front supporting leg. Fingertips on the block or maybe holding onto the wall, hand to the sacrum, give a little press. Trying to think of that back leg is strong and lifting, either pointing or flexing into the feet, releasing the hand if you wish to. And then reaching back, whoop. Pulling into sugar cane. And then releasing to Chapasana. And releasing to warrior two. Oh, wonderful. Release down into your low lunge. This time that right leg sweeps all the way back up and comes into your kicking donkey. We are almost there through our flow. Releasing that left heel to the floor, but pulling in our right heel to the buttock, opening up that knee and that hip. This is pretty much one of the same position to where we started, very early on. And then exhale, release the toes down to the floor into down dog. One more little spinal ripple, come forward into plank. Lower the knees, pull back, tucked toe, child's pose. Keep the belly close to the thighs, lift up the hips, down dog. Stay in pause. And then release the knees, release the toes. Bring the arms back to the hips. Maybe widen the knees a little bit as you just come to your child's pose. And then bring the hands forwards, roll up through the spine. Come to kneeling. Bring the knees together, bring the heels underneath the buttocks, and just sit nice and tall. This is a moment of pause and reflection of the flow sequence. Again, that path of least resistance, meandering, slow, lunar, feminine flow through the sacral chakra and the water element. Come forward onto the fingertips. We're going to bring the right leg through and cross it over. So shoelace pose. So squeezing those thighs together, bring the feet to the outer edges of your mat, and then nice and gently start to move back, and maybe sitting on a block, or, oh gosh, goodness me, haven't done this for a while, or maybe sitting on the floor. So legs are crossed. We've done a lot of cross legs today, building up to our shoelace. Stacking knees on top of one another and just take a forward fold. So maybe taking hands onto the ankles or the feet, letting the head drop down towards the knees, but really trying to drop down through your right buttock. If the double leg version becomes a little bit too intense or too much for you, you can always extend the underneath leg. So extending the left leg underneath you. From here, roll up through the spine, extend the left leg, extend the right leg. Sit nice and tall once more. Nice long spine. Feet are drawing gently back towards the shins. Lift up the arms. Reach up high. A little back bend here. So it's almost like an upward salute. We're opening the chest, pressing the thumbs back behind us. Palms may come together, but I'm going to keep mine shoulder width. We're going to release up and exhale. Slowly, gently go into the fold. Navel gently pulls back towards the spine. Spine rounds from tailbone to the base of the skull. Lengthen the spine, bring yourself back up. Right leg crosses over the left. Take a nice Ardha Matsyendrasana twist here, half spinal twist. Either hugging the front knee or placing the elbow over. Grounding through both sit bones, really pulling the big toe down over that right foot. Even though we're finding stillness through the posture, everything internally is still moving, the breath is still moving. Finding the path of least resistance to breathe. And bring back into center. And swing those legs back around behind you and come back into that thunderbolt pose of kneeling at the back of the mat. Heels coming underneath the buttocks, sitting nice and tall, dropping down through the buttocks, the shoulders, facial expression is relaxed. Hands come forward into your tabletop. You bring the left leg through this time. It crosses over the right thigh. Pull the knees together, pull the thighs together, and then open out those feet to the opposite edges of your mat. And then start to gently roll back, pulling yourself back towards the seated position of shoelace. So again, the feet are out to the sides. And again, if these shoelaces are just far too intense, far too challenging, extend the underneath leg. So the left leg is stacked on top of your right knee. And then maybe taking hold of the ankles, the feet, or the shins. Exhale, let the head come down towards the knees, softening through the left buttock. Oops. It's always quite confusing because the brain wants to move the left foot, but it's actually the right foot on the left side. And I want to move the left foot and it's on my right side. So my brain logically can't comprehend. It's great for coordination. Lengthen the spine, roll back up and unravel the legs out in front of you. Once more, we lift up, arms raised, little tiny back bend, open the chest, thumbs reach back. Bring yourself center and then reach up and over into that second fold forward. Wiggle the flesh from underneath the buttocks. Exhale, let the head fall towards the knees, soften through the shoulders. Navel pulls gently back in towards the spine. Breathe in, lengthen the spine, bring yourself back up. And this time we bring our left foot across our right leg. Ground through the big toes. Take the twist, get the belly free of the thigh and either hugging or bringing the elbow over the thigh. So we're twisting towards the leg, towards the bent leg. Underneath leg is active, so that means that we are drawing those toes back towards us. Again, the inhale is to lengthen the spine. The exhale is to deepen the rotation. So we've gone through forward folds, back bends, rotations, and lateral stretches today, which are all really great for lower back pain relief and pelvic stabilization. And then bring yourself back into center and release the legs. And again, return back into that thunderbolt pose, kneeling. Hands slide forward into tabletop. Hopefully you're at the back of your mat. And if you're not, just shuffle back there. But we're going to bring the right leg through and it crosses over the left. We're going to bring the left leg through and it crosses over the right. Keep going all the way to the front of the mat, but we make sure that we are equaling those legs off. So if we've only got time for 2 on each, that's okay. I've got just enough time for 3 before I reach the front. Good. And from there, we simply roll over onto our buttocks, spin the legs around, and roll down through the spine. Draw the knees in when you get to the floor. Lengthen from tailbone to base of skull. Feel fully connected back to the floor once more, back to the earth. After wonderful water element practice, celebrating the full buck moon this week. Circle the knees one way. Keep the knees together. Massage through the lower back. Rolling from one QL to the other QL. Circle the other way. Open the knees. Circle into the hips. And then just having a block handy, place that underneath the sacrum. Now I'll give you the choice. You can either go for the lowest level, which is just really nice and just lightly lifted, or you can go for the medium level if your block feels nice and sturdy and stable underneath the sacrum, making sure that it's not going anywhere, it's not on a tilt, it's firmly planted to the floor, and we're in a supported bridge. Your choice again, hands by the hips or back into cactus. Make sure the shoulder blades are spread out. So long neck, keep the gaze up towards the sky. Try not to move the head left and right to look at the screen rather than look, be present and listen to the cues. So from here, the hands stay where they are, either by the hips or above the head. And we're going to bring the right knee in towards the chest. So this is where I say make sure that that block underneath you isn't moving around too much. These aren't the best blocks in the world, but mind you, they were extremely cheap. So they're not my best blocks. Draw the knee in, and we're squeezing that hip flexor to draw that knee in by itself. Now extend the leg up towards the sky, flex and point into the foot, rotate through the ankle, the feet, again, even though we're focusing on the sacral area and the hips and the pelvis and the lower back, our feet are never neglected through the practice. From here, we slowly lower that leg as if somebody was pulling the toes and the leg was getting super, super long. And eventually the heel comes down to the floor. And at that point, give in all of that weight into that right hip, right leg. Relax everything in that right leg. Give into the weight. So I'm hoping that you're receiving some sort of stretch and opening through that hip flexor and the right quadricep there. And then bring the right leg back, place that down. So this time, either hands by the hips or behind you, we draw that left knee in towards the chest. Squeeze the thighs to the chest. It's having to do the work by itself. We're not holding and pulling that knee in towards us. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then nice and slowly exhale, extend the leg up towards the sky. If your leg is quite tight at the back of the hamstring, try not to take it here, but rather bend at the knee, keeping the heel in line with the buttock. Then flex and point through the foot, through the ankle, and rotate through the ankle one way and the other. And same thing goes, lower that leg with control as if somebody were pulling the toes and extending your leg all the way to the floor. Let the heel rest and then gently drop in. I think that's just a really nice expression, is to just relax over the block if it feels good. So we're just, again, extending through this left hip flexor, left quad. And then bring that left leg back. Find your supported bridge once more. We're going to bring our hands back by our hips if our arms were above our head. And this time, both of our legs go long into pontoon. So right leg goes long along the mat, left leg goes long, and we give in all of our weight into that block. Exhaling over, and if you like now, lifting the arms up above the head. It's our passive back bend. It's just like an upward salute. Giving all the weight across that central band. Try and relax. If you feel pinching or pain, please bring the feet back, bring the hands back. A few more breaths in pontoon. Bring the hands back if they were over the head. Bring the right foot back. Bring the left foot back. Ground through the feet. Gently press up through the hips. Take this nice and slow. Take the block away and gently and slowly roll down through the shoulders, through the upper back, through the middle back. Notice how the lower back responds now after the back bend, coming down through this soft release. And when you get there, just extend the legs, find a Shavasana and relax. So just pause before we find movement. Feel the afterglow that's taking place in the back body, in the lower back and the sacrum and the pelvis. Maybe in the hips, in the front of the hips, of course. And now draw right knee in, left knee in, and slowly squeeze and roll out. Give yourself that massage. And if there's something else that you feel that you need to do right now, go ahead, do that. Let's prepare ourselves for our final relaxation in Shavasana. So making yourself comfortable and warm. Feet go nice and long, or they can be soles of the feet down onto the floor, letting the knees come in towards one another. And the arms gently resting by the side of the body. Spread the shoulders, palms are face up, and making sure that the fingers and the toes aren't touching anything by the sides of you. As water dances through our limbs, as it flows, moves, and morphs, it reminds us that flow is our natural state. Moving the body in rhythm, going with the flow, and learning to let go are ways to honor the water element within. We always have a choice: to swim against the tide, to cling on to the bank, or to float in synchronicity with our life. When we become like Teflon, nothing sticks and we do not get stuck. To go with the flow of your life means to accept your life as it is unfolding. It doesn't mean that we don't have any daily annoyances and situations that we resist. It's just that we become better at identifying the places that are gritty and stuck. If we examine these places with curiosity, we may find a teaching or a gift. Some days, your life will seem like a riptide, where you're dragged up and down through choppy waters. And on other days, it will be a gentle eddy on a clear, blue, sunny day, where you float seamlessly through life. Be open to them all and go with the flow. I'll leave you for a few moments of silence, letting you know when it's time to come back around. Beginning to take a few deeper breaths as you bring your awareness back into your surrounding. Back onto the mat and back into the body, deepening the breath, deepening the movement, wiggling fingers, moving wrists, wiggling toes, moving ankles. Choosing to stretch out the body or drawing the knees in, rolling, massaging out. And again, for the last moment through practice, just being aware of our target area of our sacrum, our pelvis, our hips today and lower back. Returning up to a comfortable seat. When you're ready, bringing the hands into Anjali Mudra. Sitting nice and tall through the spine, allowing yourself to connect to the earth and to the water element within. And remind yourself of your own personal intention for practice, of what you needed most, going with the flow, finding fluidity, finding creative expression, and just a nice cool pelvic practice, sacral region practice for our sacral chakra and the water element. Always thank yourself, your body, your breath for your practice. And I thank you very much. Namaste.